Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
2 nights ago, we all heard Crooked Joe's angry, dark, hate-filled rant of a State of the Union address. Didn't it bring us together? Remember, he said, I'm going to bring the country together. I'm going to bring it together. No. He's a threat to democracy. I will tell you, he's a threat to democracy.
I want to get your take on Charlie Sykes' tweet. He said, it's as if we're in this massive simulation. What if he crossed this red line? What if he actually didn't just talk about grabbing a woman by the pussy? What if he actually raped a woman? Is that too far? What if he actually tried to overthrow the government? What if he actually incited violence? And the GOP just shrugs and says, yeah, 4 more years. We want 4 more years of that. Right? Not just COVID, everything down the memory hole that, you're raising a kid, just him imitating the stutter takes you back to him imitating the, reporter with the disability.
Boy, all the Christians who weren't outraged at him mocking a disability are going to be really mad about him mocking a stutter. But you're exactly right. They have raised the bar on lowering the bar. The bar is so low now, Dick Cheney just tripped over it in an underground bunker. And I got to say, the media is the real culprit here because the media wants their Trump-sized ratings back. And that's why we're going to keep on getting these media stories, not about what a criminal Donald Trump is and how 80 million of us have lost our damned minds. The media is going to give us stories about how Americans are so mad about this choice. No one wants this election. These 2 candidates again. I mean, can you believe this horrible choice we have, Steph? Donald Trump leads a violent terrorist attack against America and ends 200 years of peaceful transfer of power. And Joe Biden thinks women should control their own bodies. Both sides have lost their mind. I mean, Joe Biden's old with a stutter, and Trump is old and rapes people. I don't know who to choose here. It's impossible to pick one of these 2.
Can I just say, Chris and I had a moment yesterday. We're trying to book flights and start this whole new because we have to save the world now.
Right.
Now it's the Save the World tour.
Yeah.
You know what I found? All that stuff. Do you remember what it took to try to get all your, airline money back and all went for all the canceled flights and all that kind of stuff? I mean, there's some reminders. You're like, oh my God, that took 6,000 phone calls just to try to cancel all this and get your money back and blah.
Or Mike Pence can have the Religious Freedom Act, and they never say, hey, where does your holy book have Jesus driving the gay cakes out of the temple? We always assume the conservatives are speaking for Jesus. Immigration, abortion, LGBT issues, birth control, they're against Jesus on every one of these counts, and the media's got to stop pushing these people as Christian authorities. If you are against abortion rights because you love Jesus so much, even though he never mentioned it, but you support the death penalty, even though he did oppose it, the rest of us are not obliged to take your claims of piety seriously.
This guy, Ghost Deer, you had quite a day with him. He said, did Jesus advocate for a specific type of government? Did Jesus tell people how they should live their own individual lives? You're really so dumb. You don't understand this simple distinction. And you said this is the argument right-wing Christians use to justify voting against the teaching of Jesus on Election Day. In Matt 25, Jesus Christ commanded individuals and nations to care for the sick, the poor, the incarcerated, and to welcome the stranger.
That's it right there.
Bam.
Matthew 25. He commands individuals and nations. Welcome the stranger. Never mentions abortion. You got to take care of people in prison. You got to take care of the sick. You got to take care of the poor. This is the separation of church and hate. This is what I write about. Yep. And these guys are going to keep on doing it, and the media is going to keep on letting them. And there's a reason why the largest growing religious group in America are the nuns, N-O-N-E-S, atheists, agnostics, and people who were raised religious but now consider themselves spiritual because they're turned off by the hypocrisy of men wearing dresses with funny hats. Again, they're not on the side of the book they claim to follow. So don't feel any shame or guilt about calling them out.
Ghost Deer, deep Christian, also tweeted at John, you really are so stupid that you basic immigration law is something that's somehow anti-Christian, despite Jesus never talking about some sort of open borders policy as a tenet of his teachings, grifter hack. Oh, that would
Yeah.
be you, the aforementioned
I was making
stupid
the grifter
grifter
hack.
hack. Yeah. And you said the only law on immigration or borders in the entire Bible is the commandment to welcome the stranger. That's it. And while I may be so stupid, the word is spelled tenant. And then you helpfully spelled tenant correctly.
Yeah, he
And you,
spelled tenant instead of tenet, like the guy who spells borders with an A to describe, not their tenants, but the border. They're all dumb. They don't read, and half of them are bots. Twitter's not real life, and as it turns ever more into a Nazi chat room, where female bots are telling you what anatomy parts are in bio. Stay on the site and fight for what's right, but don't let Twitter make you crazy because it's designed to make decent people go nuts for engagement.
yes, and speaking of which, you said, I'm outraged that Chinese tech oligarchs are using TikTok to collect our personal data like the American and Saudi tech oligarchs already do. Yes, thank you. I was saying, am I missing the difference between, I don't know, Mark Zuckerberg taking rubles to help Trump in 2016 or Elon Musk being, a maggot?
That's it, Steph.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, why should I be more concerned about foreign adversaries collecting my data over foreign adversaries using Facebook and Twitter to collect the data and upset our democracy? I mean, one comprehensive bill for data privacy, for all Americans to know that other companies can only sell their information if they've been given their consent. Why are we singling out just TikTok instead of all these other platforms if we care so much about our children? I mean, it's just election year grandstanding, and I kind of think it's a plot by the Republicans to make Joe Biden walk into a trap of banning TikTok and then hurting himself with younger voters.
You know who cares about your children? Katie Britt does. And that's why she needs you to send her money right now, because people are laughing at your children. They're not laughing at her.
This TikTok bill is going to die on the floor of the Senate like Caesar, and Chuck Schumer's going to make it happen. Chuck Schumer, who really shocked the world yesterday, calling on regime change in Israel. I mean,
I said earlier, John, I have such hope from what he said and Ilhan Omar said this week, just saying, absolutely, I'm voting for Biden. Our democracy's on the line, period.
Yes. Same day, Kamala Harris becomes the first president or vice president to visit a women's health clinic. I mean, so many great moments. And I know they're all tied into a campaign, but it's also tied into showing the American people and the world and the history books how our ideological divide is and what our values are. Yes, for democracy. Yes, for women's rights. Yes, for men not getting to make that choice for a woman. I mean, time and time again, I think Biden's speech was one of the greatest ideological State of the Union speeches ever, because this is the choice. It's not about personalities. It's not about this old guy versus this old guy. It's about visions.
Yep. This week was Netanyahu and Putin's worst nightmare, right?
Yep.
Ilhan Omar, Chuck Schumer,
Yep.
Americans stand together against autocracy to uphold democracy. We love you, John Fugelsang. This is why we must come to each and every city, apparently, ever.
We will.
SexyLiberal.com. We love you, John Fugelsang.